Hey, Dan Fitzpatrick here, stockmarketmentor.com. This is the last time you're going to hear from me in over a week. I'm going on vacation, leaving tomorrow, going down to Cabo, where I'm going to trade like a maniac on the beach all week long. Actually, I'm going to do everything except that. No trading for me. Every once in a while, you got to unplug, and this is one of those times. So I'm out of here, but on the stock market mentor side, my trusted ally will call me Batman, and he's Robin. Scott is going to be hanging out with the members in the forum and still kind of carrying on and making some of these trades. Bridget's going to be doing the same thing over at Option Market Mentor. This, by the way, is a pretty good time to join, even though I'm going to be gone this next week, because I made a bunch of tutorials for members. I always try to leave you with something to do. So it's really a good time to be joining Stock Market Mentor. I hope you do. So let me talk about Tesla. This is a stock that has done really well since we were first looking at this on this breakout. And I saw, it was kind of interesting. I'm not dogging on anybody in particular. I'm really not, because I can't predict the way this stock is going to go. But I saw something on CNBC, whatever that thing is that they have on Friday. I think it's a half-hour show, and it's sponsored by some option company. If it's sponsored by Thinkorswim, find anybody but Thinkorswim to handle your stuff. Those people go out worse than a light bulb in a massive windstorm. I mean, they're down more than they're up, it seems like. But anyway, I digress, and I had to digress because they really pissed me off, and everybody else too. So here's the thing. They were looking at Tesla and talking about a call spread, which I thought, okay, well, that's a pretty good idea. You're buying a call and then hedging it by selling a higher strike. Yeah, you could do that. That's, it's one way to do it. They're pretty expensive, so you got to hedge. And then I looked more closely, and I'm going like, well, I think the strikes are wrong. What are they doing here? Then I realized what they're doing is they're doing a bearish call spread, a bear call spread. They're actually selling a lower strike and buying a higher strike to protect themselves, and talking about how the premium's so rich and they're going you can make so much money on this on a defined risk trade. And honestly, this is what I'm thinking, because I've been doing this a long time, and I've invented ways to lose money that nobody's even thought of. Okay, so I know how to lose money. And one great way to lose money is to bet against a really strong trend, because by definition, a really strong trend has a lot of people betting against it. Why? Because the definition of a really strong trend is this. Well, crap, you don't see that happen very often. I think I'm going to buy this stock. I mean, that is the definition of a really strong trend. And you guys know what Tesla has done. Last June it was down here. Now it's up here. I'd say an 885% return, in about a year and less than a year and a half, actually just a little over a year. That's a pretty good number. That would have been my favorite stock. And so this stock looks to me, you could say, well, it's going to 2,000 and that's the end of that. Well, that didn't really happen, did it? It happened for a minute, happened for half the day yesterday, and then the stock's up more. So I don't know how you can bet against Tesla by saying, well, I wouldn't short it here, but I think it's definitely not going up to there. We don't know that. You do not know that. And you can say, well, yeah, but, my trade is hedged. Look, if you're on the wrong side of the trade, all the hedge means is that you're not going to lose as much money as you would without the hedge. My suggestion on this is well, you know what, if you're trading options, I really can't help you because they're really super expensive. I'm leaving for a week, so I ain't going to be around next week to say, hey, this is what I suggested, do this, or oh crap, this is what I suggested, I'm sorry, you lost all your money. So I'm not going to keep suggesting trades even though I'm not going to be around. I would just say this, you got to be trading the stock. The stock moves plenty. It moves plenty for you to make all the money you want if you're correct, okay? So what I'd do is this. I'd look at the way the stock's trading. The low is at 2025. The stock typically does not hit new intraday lows. It kind of did here on the second day of a pullback, and then it immediately exploded higher. The last time it printed lower lows was back here about 10 days ago or so. So this trend is still high. What I would suggest doing is hang on to this stock. It could very well, I could absolutely make a case for this, that the stock is going to pull back. You know, this was kind of a little peak here, and it could pull back $100, maybe even 150. So definitely get after it on the short side. But guys, this thing's been going up forever, and how anybody can say this is the top, or maybe not here, but definitely here. You are guessing. There's nothing, no other way to say it. You're guessing. And if you're saying the stock's going to do this, or you're saying, oh, it's going to do that, you are guessing with an exclamation point instead of a question mark. We don't know. So in my view, and it is truly a humble view, it has to be, because if you're trading and you're not humble, you will be very soon. In my view, there's no way to call a top here. It's absolute silliness to be making a bearish bet on Tesla. I did go to the grocery store earlier today. The guy bagging my groceries used to be short Tesla. Now he's happy to have a job. I told him plastic, not paper. So the point here is you stay long Tesla. It's very, very nosebleedy to buy here, but the stock split in 5-for-1 on the 28th. I think the real action is going to come after that split, and this is why. It could go either way in a big way, but between now and the split, I suspect that the most the stock is going to do is pull back a little bit, but the more logical thing for it to do would just be to keep on running. At least that's the way I see it. So anyway, that's it. Just so you know, I did take profits on Tesla. This has been a great trade for me. Hopefully you followed it all the way through this chart of the day video. And I also post that stuff on Twitter, so if you don't follow me, please do so. It's a real complicated handle, at Dan Fitzpatrick, period. That's it, at Dan Fitzpatrick. But I hope this trade's worked for you, and we'll get after some others in a couple weeks, okay? Have a great weekend.